kind of funny what's been going on here. Hey, Tessa. It's really funny, actually. I find it hilarious when I see grown adults who can't even handle the response to their own decisions in life or the consequence. I thought, Robbie, you loved consequences. Hmm. Apparently, you don't. Um, so we have a bunch of people who seem to be having struggles with what has happened as a result of the decisions they've made, and it's pathetic. It's absolutely fucking pathetic. No, Nancy is this girl named Corey. She's an absolute pill. She's like a little gnat. She's from Canada. She just buzzes around and says some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. She thinks she's some moral baseline for women. She's all about the women, right? Not really, Nancy, if you're ever in that chat, but you're not even worth my breath. Um, so Nikki went live, and Robbie's on a path of probably, he reminds me of a 15-year-old teenager. He thinks that he And no, it's this girl named Corey from Canada. She's been on Mandarin Hooker's ass for years now, and she got on mine a while ago. She's an idiot. Robbie reminds me of a defiant 15-year-old, and that there is absolutely nothing more pathetic than a 42-year-old man who acts like a 15-year-old. It's embarrassing. He thinks his opinions and his lies and his grandiose statements about his cruel words and stuff, that we're all so offended by it because any of us really care what Robbie has to say about anybody. Like, Robbie thinks that his opinion and his vocalization of his inability to handle life and projection and deflection onto other people actually bothers us. The only way Robbie's words might bother somebody is when they touch upon something so precious, something so special in our lives, something so irreplaceable, and something that we love so much, things that he's never experienced and never will, that of course naturally we're going to get pissed, right? Like our children and things like that. Robbie doesn't have that experience of love in his life, and he never will. He's not capable of it, and it's unfortunate for him. But it's probably a blessing too in disguise, because I don't think he would make a good parent. I don't think he would ever and never will be a good husband. That's clear. He is a self-serving, shitty friend to all of his friends. Natasha drove that point home last night, and I mean, Michael was a catch. His ex-husband was a wonderful man. From what I could see, he was good looking. He seemed to take good care of him. He provided for them as a family. He was devoted. He was a good man. And he couldn't even preserve that marriage or stay respectful of it or even just be decent. He's such a petulant little child. He threw tantrums, destroyed that man's home that he purchased brand new and paid for with his brother. What kind of a grown 42-year-old man puts holes in walls, breaks doors down, throws big boy bitch temper tantrums? And over what? Over what exactly was he throwing these fits over? That he couldn't even control himself to keep his hands to himself and not destroy the thing that his husband and his husband's brother worked so hard for. He wants to sit out here and judge everybody, and he wants to call me a whore. If he wanted my opinion, he'd go to a hooker. Robbie, your words don't bother me. You're a walking STD. Literally, you're a walking petri dish of STDs. You're like an STD vending machine. You brag about your unprotected sex with strangers on Grindr that you have weekly, like it's some badge of honor. You're a cautionary tale, Robbie. Normal people with normal types of self-preservation and self-respect stay the fuck away from likes of you. Normal people don't befriend people like you, Robbie. You're a liability to people. You are a liability to your husband. You're a liability to your friends. You're a liability to your family, your extended family. You're a big walking, talking caution sign. That's what you are. The people you meet, and he admits it. He's proud of this fact. He's proud of being this thing, this shell of a human walking around acting like he's so proud of himself and he's so desirable and he has so much to offer and he's so accomplished. It's an act. This guy's a chameleon. It's all an act. He's so hung up on himself and he is so disillusioned in this great person who he thinks he actually is. He actually thinks people are so stupid to not hear his words that he says. He's sitting here trying to blame people on the internet for losing his job when he stated himself very clearly he was offered a choice. Hey, Lavina. Hey, Plurpy. He was offered a choice. Hey, Mel Mel. His choice was do a 30-day program or quit, find another job. If he's sober right now and he's not, doing things he's not supposed to be doing, why would he not do that 30-day program? Because I can tell you, he says it's because he can't wait for 30 days to get another job. The time it's going to take him to find a new job, go through training, start the job, and then get his first paycheck is going to be way longer than 30 days. That's not going to be possible. Logically thinking, okay? That is not going to be possible. So instead of doing a 30-day program where he has to be accountable and has to possibly test and go through AA and he has to actually, you know, brick and mortar his way through the process. Instead of doing that, he quits. So no, Robbie, nobody got you fired from your job because your employer is not going to have repercussions on you because somebody shows up on your YouTube channel with a white claw in their hand. What you say does not make sense for a reason because you're lying. But you, again, you did not get fired. You chose to quit. You made the conscious adult grown decision to quit your job because you did not want to do a 30-day program again. So I don't know why you're out here bitching and moaning or what kind of little scam you're trying to pull right now with this whole you got fired from your job bullshit because you did not. You quit your job and you quit your job by choice because you don't want to have to be held accountable and you don't want to have to test for drugs, do you? You can sit here and try and shame Retro and say she didn't care for her mother, and you can sit here and try and say she didn't do this and she didn't do that, and she's this kind of parent, that kind of a parent, right? She doesn't have custody. Her daughter's an adult. You will never know what it's like to be a parent, Robbie. Nobody in their right mind would ever want to raise a child with you. You're not capable of it. You're not capable of caring for another human being more than you are yourself, and that is more than obvious. It's scary. It's a blessing that you will never have children, and that's just a fact. You should not have children ever. You shouldn't even have pets. You can't even take care of yourself. You wanna make everybody believe that you paid 3 months ahead of time for this apartment and you put in the work, and look at all this great stuff you have. I don't believe that for 1 minute, and why wouldn't you be able to pay 3 months ahead of time or 3 months down? You didn't have any rent once you got evicted from Michael's. You didn't walk out of there by choice, Robbie. You were evicted. They forced you out. You were evicted, and you were slapped with a restraining order. You are so out of control, you can't even show your ex-husband a tiny pinch of decency just to leave like a normal human being. You couldn't even just simply walk out that door. They had to drag you out in handcuffs, and then they had to prevent you from coming back because you cannot even control yourself like a normal human being. You're not even capable of being decent to your husband and his brother in their home. So they had to have the big boy parents, the police and the judges and the courts enforce rules on you so that you don't act out of line, so that you don't destroy their things in their home, so you don't cause them any more stress or damage because you have zero self control when you don't get your way because you're a brat. You want to talk about what the kind of mother people are? You want to talk about the kind of mother Retro is or anybody else is? Who raised you? You're still mad because you didn't get a Christmas present one Christmas because your parents got in a fight? Oh, you poor thing. That one Christmas was so bad, Robbie, wasn't it? It was so hard. See, here's the thing. I don't even think you came from a family with bad parents. I think you were a spoiled little bitch who got your way all the time. All the time. Clearly, you never had consequences when you were a child because if you did, you would not be acting this way. You have always had somebody come and sweep up your little mess for you, didn't you, Robbie? Put that little cushion under your tush whenever you fell down. Your Aunt Sally, your mom, your dad, whoever he is. You're just a bad seed. You're just a flawed person. You're bad, Robbie. You're just a bad, horrible person who stomps his feet when he doesn't get his way because you think this world owes you something because you have way overvalued yourself and who you are and what you've done. You've done nothing. You're a piece of shit. You quit your job, so quit bitching about it. You weren't fired. You quit. You stated it yourself. And then there's Nikki. There's Nikki over there. Oh, Nikki. Nikki's over there bitching because Retro asked her where all of her friends were in her chat that day, last night. Nikki doesn't control where people go. Nikki had no problem with them being in NCs. Nikki seems to be forgetting the live stream that she had 2 hours prior to the one Retro went into, where she spent an hour throwing a big girl tantrum about her chat and all of her friends being over at Natasha's channel. She proceeded to drag Natasha, throw an absolute embarrassing fit, and scold the people who she called friends for not being loyal to her. Hey, Dina. Oh, the sad, sad Christmas was ruined forever. Fuck Christmas. Aw. Christmas hates you, Robbie. Christmas absolutely hates you, Robbie. So does Santa.